Hi there, everybody. How you doing? This is Jeremy, and welcome to this edition of FXIFY Pulse. Glad to have you here with us today for Tuesday, July the 28th, as we begin to round out the end of July. So we're going to get started here. Before we do so, I want you to take a moment and read through this risk disclaimer. All right, welcome. So glad to have you all here with you today. My name's Jeremy. Welcome. And if this is your first time joining us here at FXIFY Pulse, I'd like to extend my hand to you, wish you a very warm welcome. And in this show, what we do is we go out, we help you trade smarter. So we're going to go through several key markets. And Blue, I see your request for gold. We'll take a look at that here. We'll start off with silver. We'll move over into gold. And then we'll take a look at the SP 500, Nasdaq, pound dollar, I think is setting up for a little bit of a bullish run. And we'll probably take a look at euro dollar as well, plus any other questions that you may have. So if you have any markets that you're interested in, go ahead and pop those into the chat box, and we'll be able to take a look at those throughout the course of the session. So coming up this week, we do have a little bit of central bank news. Let's see, today's Tuesday. So tomorrow on Wednesday, we've got the Fed coming out The expectation is that the Fed is going to be holding rates steady. It is at the next meeting in September where the Fed may go through, and that's where the street is expecting and anticipating a rate hike, a 25 basis point rate hike, but that'll be in September. So today's meeting is anticipated to be a hold, and then September with a 25 basis point rate hike. And then there's a secondary 25 basis point rate hike coming by the end of the year, so in December. I know we still have a lot of ground to cover between here and there, so not sure, how that will evolve. But yeah, the way it sits right now, the street's expecting 2 rate hikes by the Fed between now and December. Well, basically between September and December. So it'd be September up, then a pause, and then December up. Then that's followed up with on Thursday, Bank of England, and then and their rate announcement, and then Friday, early in the morning, I guess early in the Asian session, middle of the Asian session would be Bank of Japan. Last meeting for Bank of Japan, they hiked rates, and there's an expectation that they're going to be holding rates steady coming through. So we'll get to those FX markets here later on, but I want to start off with silver. Silver was one, and we were highlighting gold, if you recall from our show on Thursday. We highlighted gold, and then silver also was providing a pretty good setup. It was coming down here into this zone. So we're taking a look at silver, and there was some symmetry and geometry that was taking place. We did get that rally, and then it stalled out. So it did not quite make it up to the high that we were looking at. When we look at this, so after Thursday's session, if you recall in Thursday's session, if you look during the silver analysis, it was drafting behind this really nice long wick. So this was right during the Thursday session. So I was like, hey, if it retraces about half of that wick, that could offer up an opportunity. And it did. It retraced, right at that halfway point, went sideways, and then early the next morning did a little sweep and fake out to the downside, and then took off. Now, the thing is this rally just, Sunday's gap open looked fantastic. Looked like we were going to be off to the races to the upside. Gap to the upside, and then just failed, did nothing for the rest of the session. Clearly, and as this was starting to move back down and fill this gap, so this gray box right here is where that gap ended up getting filled. As it filled this gap, it turned this rally into a 3-wave rally. So we know from our Elliott Wave studies that a 3-wave rally is indicative of or a 3-wave trend is indicative of a counter trend move. So this became a big signal that this was counter trend, and that we were likely going to come down here and revisit this low. So as you can see, by my arrows on here with that entry here, late yesterday ended up closing it out for a little bit of a profit, as we filled that gap. I thought we were going to get a little bit of a bounce and maybe one last little rally out of this to recover. There was a bullish Elliott Wave pattern that would have called for a recovery out of that gray box. And then when that failed, it was just time to call in the dogs and put out the fire. So where are we at now with silver? It is just struggling to get above this June 2026 trend line. So we have a 3-wave rally. We've retraced every bit of that 3-wave rally. So that's good. So I think we've got listed here in black, A down, B higher, and then a C wave lower. We've got some divergence appearing down here on this recent low. So this is looking like it could be bullish again, silver. There's one measurement I want to check out here real quick. Actually, I may have it already on my chart. What's this one? Nope, that's not it. Let me delete it. But there is another measurement that we want to look at here, and that is I want to measure the length of this first leg lower, wave A, projected at the end of wave B. And so right here, this E100. So this is where micro C is equal to micro A. It's a very common wave relationship that we would see with an Elliott wave. So that's down here. So we came just above that zone. Now I want to be able to count 5 waves down. 1, 2, it could be a 3, 4, 5, but we have a double bottom here, 6, 7. So really this would count a lot better if we could get just one more little hit to the downside. So one more little hit to come down here, possibly touch that green horizontal price level, and then it could take off to the upside. That would give us the complete wave. So even though we're getting a little bit of a rally here, I'm not convinced this rally is going to be a long-lasting rally just yet. So we want to look for, so this may end up, maybe coming up and retesting this high and then giving it one more drop lower. So I think we've got one more drop coming, one more little move to the downside for silver to push down to that 56.34 zone. And then from there, we may see a rally back up to the upside. Yeah, the screen is moving, getting a little jumpy here. All right. Let me check on something real quick. All right, everybody. I think we are back now, back amongst the living. My apologies. So can we do a quick sound check here and just let me know if everything is coming through the screen okay? And let me know if my voice is reaching out to you.